Once a freedom fighter, then a feared pirate queen, Vexa disappeared without a trace after a brutal betrayal. Some say she died, others believe she became something more. This is her story, told by one who knew her best, a former lover, comrade, and witness to her rise, fall, and resurrection. The Siren's Wrath is a tale of vengeance, fire and passion, of love found in war, of gods, ghosts, and what burns beneath the skin. It begins with a vanishing and ends with a reckoning. They whisper her name like a ghost story, not just in outlaw bars or fuel stations tucked behind asteroid belts. No, I've heard it echo in Imperial war rooms. Like a curse, like they think saying it aloud will bring her back. Captain Vexa, once a name, now a legend. Or maybe a warning. I've seen hollow posters burned with her face. I've watched a soldier flinch just from hearing it muttered on a comms channel. And me, I knew her. I knew the curve of her spine, the jagged edge of her smile, and the fire behind her eyes. I saw her in the quiet too, in the moments when the flame flickered but never died. People say she vanished. Dead, gone. But I've been in her wake. I've seen what she left behind. She's not gone. She transcended. The last time anyone saw her, the Crimson Siren was found adrift near the Veiled Sector. Reactor blown. Air thin. No crew. Just one thing playing on repeat in the black box.
Let the fire build.
Her voice whispered like prophecy. I should have let it go. Should have walked away. Found another cause, another captain, another warm body to tangle with, and forget. But obsession doesn't leave space for healing. It devours. I keep her memory like a wound that never seals, because the galaxy needs to remember her, and because, if she's alive, she's still burning. She never told us everything, just fragments. But over time I stitched them together, like a scar across a battlefield. Astra 3 was home. A terraformer colony, dust, heat, 2 moons that never blinked. Her parents were settlers, not soldiers. They planted things, they healed things. Vexa used to say the soil was stubborn, but so was her mother. Then the Sovereign Fleet came, not a war fleet. Just a squadron, armored with papers and protocols. They called it real allocation. The soil was rich in synthetium, rare, volatile, worth more than 10 colonies combined. Vexa's family wouldn't leave, so the fleet made them. They started with the crops, burned them as a warning. Then the water supply, then the town. Her father died trying to protect the well. Her mother lived just long enough to watch the orbital bombardment erase everything. They said it was collateral containment. A cold phrase. Clean, efficient. Vexa never forgot it. She was 15 when she buried what was left of her parents. 15. And already a ghost in her own skin. She spent a year scavenging wrecks, hiding from patrols, sleeping in forgotten bunkers. No name, no credits, just a fire that kept her walking. The first time she killed, it was quiet. An Imperial officer, drunk and gloating in a border town brothel. She cut his throat with a food knife, took his ID chip, took his ship, and didn't look back. She renamed the stolen vessel Wraith. Small, fast, ugly as hell. But it was hers, She hit supply routes, then prison convoys. Smugglers started whispering, "There's a girl out there with dead eyes and a blade under her tongue." She didn't call herself captain yet. Not until the Crimson Siren. We met in a derelict station orbiting Varga 6. I was bleeding out from a bounty gone wrong. She walked through the chaos like she owned it, didn't even flinch at the bodies. Just looked down at me, one boot pressed against the floor like a threat or a promise.
You gonna die?
She asked.
Or are you gonna serve?
I chose to serve. Didn't take long before I realized. She wasn't building a crew, she was building a weapon. But there were moments. Fleeting. Raw. Like the time we shared a bottle of black whiskey on the cargo deck. No words, just silence. Stars and the curve of her mouth, barely smiling. She reached out, brushed my cheek with a gloved hand, and whispered,
I don't know how to be soft anymore.
I kissed her anyway. She didn't stop me. That night, her body was all instinct and hunger. A storm trying to remember it used to be rain. And for a while, we both forgot the war. The Crimson Siren wasn't much when we found her, just a stripped-down battle cruiser, half buried in the magnetic sands of Solix Prime. But Vexa looked at her like she was destiny, said the ship had bones, said it just needed someone who knew how to wake them. We spent 3 months fixing her, salvaging parts, smuggling weapons, fitting her with illegal plasma cores and shielding tech that make a sovereign engineer cry. By the time we took off, she wasn't a wreck anymore. She was war-made beautiful. And Vexa, she was no longer just a scavenger with a knife and a grudge. She was Captain Vexa, and she had found her voice. Our first real mission was a raid on an Imperial convoy escorting ore from the outer drift. Nothing too big. 2 destroyers, 4 escorts, and a civilian freighter. We hit them like thunder. Vexa flew straight at the lead destroyer with weapons cold, like she was inviting death. Then, just as they targeted us, she flipped the Siren belly down, revealed her secret cannons, and tore through the side of their hull. The freighter never had a chance to call for help. We boarded, looted, vanished. She didn't even smile. After that, word spread. Red-skinned ghost with dead eyes and no fear. Captain Vexa, the Siren Queen. The girl who killed the stars that tried to hold her. A true crew. Misfits. Killers. Dreamers. Broken things drawn to her flame. Junari joined after watching her beat a warlord in hand-to-hand. Said it was like watching poetry in armor. Tojin came next, offering loyalty in exchange for the blood of his enemies. And Selix, our wild engineer. They swore they'd never serve another captain again, until they met her. But power breeds tension, and fire burns everything, even the things you love. One night, after a mission went south, we were holed up in the med bay. I'd taken a shot to the ribs. She sat beside me, helmet off, hair matted with sweat, eyes stormy. I asked her why she kept risking her life, why she never hesitated.
Because pain makes me real.
She said.
And if I'm real, I can't forget them.
She leaned over then, slow, deliberate, and kissed me like she was drowning in memory. We didn't speak after, just touched, bruises blooming on both of us. Our breath ragged, her nails dug into my skin like she wanted to leave proof she was ever there. And when it was over, she stayed, curled against me, like a storm that had passed but not forgiven.
Don't love me,
she whispered. I already do, I said. She didn't reply. Her rage had a focus now. Admiral Cal Siren. She found his name on a stolen manifest. He'd been the one who signed the Astra 3 purge, authorized the orbital strike, promoted for it. She didn't say it out loud, but I saw it in her eyes. He was going to die, and she would be the one to end him. The trap was perfect. We'd hit sovereign convoys, labs, black sites, even a floating noble wedding once. Every mission, tighter, riskier. She got faster, colder, like she was cutting parts of herself off to move quicker through the galaxy. But this one, Mirix 8, it looked easy. Unsecured, orbital storage. Skeleton crew. Half the system distracted by a nebula flare. Textbook smash and grab. Until we docked. Until the doors shut behind us. And the lights went red. They hit us from both ends. Pulse turrets from the ceiling, shock mines in the floor, railgun bursts that sliced through bulkheads like tissue. It wasn't a firefight. It was a massacre. Jinari took a bolt to the chest. Silic screamed into the comms, blood frothing from their mouth. I saw Torg charging into gunfire with nothing but a hammer, roaring Vexa's name like it would protect him. And Vexa, she stood in the middle of it all, completely still. She let the chaos flow around her, calculating, listening, watching. Then she yelled,
"Blow the core. Get out, now."
We ran, or crawled, or dragged each other back to the Siren. But Vexa never made it back. She stayed behind. A week passed. Then we searched every system from Nirax to Varga's line, hacked sovereign transmissions, bribed slavers, traced false trails. Still nothing. Then the beacon arrived, broadcast on an old military frequency.
"We have the Siren. She will be unmade."
Admiral Kel Siren. They didn't kill her. They studied her. Locked her away in a place, not on any map, under the crust of Drakosfjord. A penal world scrubbed from all charts. A black site for political enemies, ghosts, and things the Sovereign wanted to forget. They didn't understand her. How could they? They thought she was a rabid dog. A terrorist, a threat to order. But she was more than that. She was memory made weapon, pain sharpened into purpose. And they were about to learn. She told me later, much later, after she came back, about what it was like. About the silence. They kept her in a glass box. No sound, no clock, no light for days. The drugs they pumped into her made her forget her own name. But not the screaming of her past. Every day they showed her images. Astra 3 burning, her mother's final moments, her own face distorted, bleeding, broken. They didn't want answers. They wanted her gone, but she survived. She said she held on by remembering my voice, my hands, the way we fit together in the dark. She relived that night in the med bay. Our breath mingled, our skin electric with shared rage and want. She held it in her mind like a lifeline. Every moan, every shiver, every bruise that turned to heat. And she waited. Siren visited only once. Oregon bastard. He walked into her cell with his medals and his lies and said,
"You're not a ghost. You're just a girl pretending to be fire."
She smiled at him and said,
"Then you should know, fire spreads."
When she escaped, it wasn't quiet. She'd learned the guards' routes, the blackout timings, the frequency of the shock field that kept her weak. She made a weapon from a rusted table leg, started a riot, lit the cell blocks on fire, made the prisoners chant her name. They say she walked out of that black site barefoot, bloody and grinning. They say her last words before she vanished into the storm were,
"Tell Siren, I'm coming."
When the Siren's beacon reactivated 3 days later, it was drifting near the edge of the Nevrak rift. We found her on the bridge, alive, eyes sunken, lips cracked, hair singed, but burning brighter than I'd ever seen. She looked at me, her voice barely a whisper.
"Fuel the ship. We're ending this.
She didn't speak much after Drekos.
Not at first.
Just sat in the Siren's captain chair, arms draped over the sides like a throne, eyes locked on the stars. She was thinner, hungrier. Her silence wasn't emptiness. It was coiled violence. When she spoke again, it wasn't to us. It was to him. Siren. She recorded the message herself. Voice low, calm, venomous.
You caged me, studied me, stripped me of everything but rage. Now I'll return the favor. I'm going to take your world apart, piece by screaming piece.
She sent it to every sovereign channel. Then she smiled.
Let's set the galaxy on fire.
We became wolves.
Hit-and-run strikes, precision raids, fuel depots, listening post, recruitment centers. Each target closer to Siren's inner ring. Each hit a message, signed in blood and ash.
And she grew beautifully brutal. No more speeches. No mercy. In battle, she was poetry, graceful and savage. A plasma saber in one hand, shock pistol in the other, moving like she was dancing through ghosts. She didn't just kill. She delivered judgment. I saw her once, mid-fight, soaked in blood, lips parted, eyes glassy, with adrenaline, and I swear, I've never wanted someone more. That night she came to me again. Her body was hot with battle, raw with mead. We didn't talk, just pulled at each other like gravity had finally collapsed between us. She kissed like she fought, desperate, fierce, almost feral. Bit in my shoulder, scratched my back, climbed on top of me like she was claiming territory. And when she gasped, not in pain, not in pleasure, but in relief, like this was the only thing that made sense anymore.
Don't stop.
She whispered, nails digging into my chest.
Remind me I'm alive.
And I did. Again and again, until the stars blurred outside the viewport and the ship hummed like it was moaning with us. The next day she found him. Siren.
A fortress orbiting Luther Prime. Reinforced, guarded by a private army and 3 sovereign cruisers.
We didn't sneak in. We tore the sky apart. The Siren's cannon screamed as we punched through the blockade. Boarding pods slammed into hulls. Explosions lit the void like fireworks for the gods. She led the charge. Siren's elite fell like paper. The last man between her and the command room didn't even get a shot off. She split him open from navel to neck.
Then she was standing over Siren.
No more glass between them. Just her and the man who had tried to erase her.
You shouldn't exist.
He spat. She looked at him like he was already dead.
Neither should tyrants. Yet, here we are.
To be begged.
He offered systems, credits, immunity. She pulled her blade.
Pressed it to his throat. Then paused.
You took everything.
She said.
But you taught me one thing.
Siren blinked.
What?
That ghosts can still kill.
And she didn't slice his throat. She opened the airlock, watched as he was ripped into the void. No scream, no dignity, just silence. That was the last time I saw her whole. After the battle, after the cheering, after the blood, she stood on the bridge alone.
The galaxy was watching. News feeds called her a terrorist. Outlaws called her a legend.
And me, I just watched her watching the stars.
Where do you go now? I asked.
She turned, softly.
Somewhere they can't follow.
Then she kissed me slow and final, and vanished into the Siren's core. 2 days later, the Crimson Siren was found adrift. No crew, no damage, just a beacon repeating the same words over and over.
Let the fire build.
They never found her. Not a trace, but rumors fly. A red ship slicing through sovereign space. A woman with fire in her eyes. A ghost who strikes when justice has failed. Some say she's dead. Others say she became something more. Me, I say, she isn't done yet. Captain Vexa, our wrath, our reckoning, our siren. And maybe, just maybe, she's still listening.